Welcome to English with Abby and Torai. I'm Abby, and today we will talk about something a little strange in English. It is sometimes we use the past tense in the present. Sometimes we use the past tense, the simple past tense, but in the present when speaking in the present tense. But we actually use the past tense. I was thinking about this because I had to bring a form to my daughter's school and I had to tell them in Italian that I was bringing it for them. And so I was thinking about how strange it is that actually with this verb, we use the past tense even though it is happening in the present. And so then I was thinking about other situations where native English speakers use the past tense but in the present, whether it be for different types of reasons, which we will talk about today. So the first example of using the past tense in the present is when bringing or giving someone something. In my example, I had to bring a form to my daughter's teachers. So when you are bringing or giving someone something in that moment, when you hand it to them, you don't say, I bring this for you. You don't say, I bring this for you. We don't use the present tense of bring in that moment. You would say, I brought this for you. The past tense, I brought this for you. When handing them a gift, maybe it's their birthday and you say, oh, I brought you a gift. Or like the form, oh, I brought this form I had to fill out. Or I brought this meal for you. Something that you brought. In that moment, you tell the person, I brought this for you. The reason is because the actual bringing, the actual action of bringing something is already completed once you have brought that thing. And so in the moment, you say, I brought this for you because you already had brought the thing with you. The bringing is complete, and then you brought it for them. And that is why we use the past tense of bring in this circumstance. And one final thing you'll notice here is that brought is an irregular past tense verb. So we don't say bringed, we say brought. I brought this for you. So one way we use the past tense in the present is through bringing or giving someone something. Now we'll talk about some other examples of when we do this. Another time we use the past tense in the present is when we are asking polite questions. Polite means that you are asking in a kind way or a courteous way. Courteous also means polite, but polite means you are considering the other person, you're not being rude, but you want to ask in a polite or kind way. And so in order to do that, we change the present tense to the past. Even though you are asking in the present, we change it to the past. So here, saying, I want to ask you something sounds very direct, and it's a little bit rude in this context. I want to ask you something. It is direct and rude to ask in this way. And so we would say, oh, I wanted to ask you something. Instead, we use the past tense. The past tense makes the directness less direct. So you say, oh, I wanted to ask you something. I wanted to ask you something. And you say it like it was in the past, even though right now is when you are asking the person. But the past tense makes it less direct, less kind of in the moment and direct to the person. And you say, oh, I wanted to ask you something, or I wanted to know if you want to come to dinner with me, or I wanted to check how the meeting went, or I wanted to see how the movie was. So when you ask someone a question in this way, we use the past tense in order to make it more polite and less direct. Another time we use the past tense in the present is when ordering at a restaurant. Because again, similar to the polite questions, saying it directly in this way, I want a coffee, is rude in English. And so we don't use the present tense when ordering or when asking for something. I want a coffee is very direct and therefore is more of a rude way of asking for something. So the way we ask is by using either the past simple or the past progressive. I wanted a coffee. Oh, I wanted a coffee. So you can use the past simple to order at a restaurant. You can also use the past progressive. I was hoping for a coffee. You could also say, oh, I was wanting a coffee. So you could use either hoping, or you could say, I was wanting a coffee. You could also say, I would like a coffee. So we could use this verb as well. I would like to have a coffee. I was hoping or I was wanting a coffee. If you use wanting, the for would be removed from the sentence. So you could say, I was hoping for a coffee. I was wanting a coffee, or just the past simple. I wanted a coffee. Or I would like to have a coffee. I would like to have the pasta. I was hoping for the pasta. I was wanting the pasta. The reason we don't use the present simple in this context is because it is rude, like I said. And so using the past simple, the past progressive, those make the question, the ordering, or the what you're trying to do softer. When you're trying to make this request, it just makes it softer and less direct, more of a roundabout way of asking for it. And so this is another time we use the past tense in the present. The final way we will talk about that we use the past tense in the present is when interrupting someone. If you need to go ask someone something who is in conversation with someone else and you need to go interrupt them. So we would not use the present tense in this way either, because again, it is more direct and it makes your request more direct and ruder as well. And so saying, I ask you a question, or can I ask you a question? Either of those ways is direct and can be rude, especially when you are interrupting someone having a conversation with someone else. And so you want to make your request as soft as possible. Therefore, the past tense makes it more indirect. So here we could use the past progressive. I was wondering if I could ask you. I was wondering if I could ask you a question. I was wondering if I could ask your opinion about this. I was wondering if I could ask you what's happening later or how something went. But when we have a request like this and we use the past progressive in this way, it makes it a lot softer. You could also shorten it and say, could I ask you a question quickly? You could even say, sorry for interrupting. Could I borrow you for a second? Could I borrow you for a second? If you ask someone, could I borrow you? That means you want to have a conversation with them separately, or you want them to help you with something. Could I borrow you for a second? And then they could come back or do something else. So these are some ways to make your directness when you are interrupting someone less direct, and also other ways in the English when we use the past tense, even though it is the present. So I hope that this video was helpful for you in better understanding English. If it was, be sure to like and subscribe, as well as share it with someone else you know. Try to leave a comment below using one of these ways when we talked about past tense in the present in a sentence below in the comments, and we will respond.